Welcome to the next episode of Talking About. We're here with another great conversation, and myself, Jaz, will be one of the co-hosts along with our wonderful
Kevin Barker McGill. Hey. So, with June being Pride Month, today's episode is about support, identity, and the power of showing up for one another. We'll be joined by Harriett, a colleague who'll share her personal journey of being a member of the LGBTQ+ community, and also how her experiences have shaped who she is today. We'll also be speaking to Katie, who will talk about the importance of being there and supporting the community in a capacity as an active ally, and why today, more than ever, how that's so important.
Excellent. Thanks so much to you both for being here. So we'll start off with just getting to know you a little, and I'll come to yourself first, Katie. Could you tell us a bit about yourself, please?
Yeah, absolutely. So my name's Katie. My pronouns are she, her. I'm a customer experience leader in Newcastle in TV sales, which I absolutely love. I'm also part of the LGBTQ+ network, so I look after champs and allies. So that's really where I found my passion for being an active ally in the community.
Brilliant. Fantastic. Thanks so much for that, Katie. And Harriett, yourself?
Yeah, my name's Harriett. My pronouns are she, her as well, but I'm also not bothered if people use they. I'm not that fussed, to be fair. Within Sky, I'm an analyst. I am part of the LGBTQ+ community, or sometimes I say queer community as well.
Cool.
Proud gay woman, lesbian, queer woman, whatever,
Yes, Harriett.
whatever you want to say. Super proud, and yeah, that's me.
Fabulous. I mean,
Brilliant.
Jazz, I can't believe we didn't give our pronouns. So I am he, him. Jazz.
And I am she, her.
Fabulous.
Excellent.
Congratulations.
Thanks so much. Thanks for having me here.
Cool. So now that we've set the scene, actually, I'm going to backtrack slightly. I'm going totally off script.
Go for it.
But then I'm going to go back on script. So now that we've set the scene just a little bit, let's just get to the heart of the conversation. So Harriett, I'd love to start with you. So if you could just tell us a bit about your personal journey, and when you first started to really understand and embrace your true identity.
Wow.
Yeah, big question. Actually.
Wow. I think for me, I actually came out really, really young. I was 14 when I came out.
Wow.
Came out at school first, and I'll be honest, this is probably quite rare within like LGBTQ+ community, but at school I didn't really have any issues. People were super supportive, teachers were supportive. I came out to my mum, she was really supportive, and yeah, and then as I grew up, I then went to uni in Brighton, which is like the gay capital of the country.
Yep.
And I think that's where I really, really started to understand like my identity, and I got to meet like such a diverse group of people. I've got trans friends, non-binary friends, like all spectrums of the rainbow.
Amazing.
And I think for me, being in Brighton as an 18-year-old, first time away from home, was probably really did shape me, and I stayed there for 7 years.
Wow.
And I
long
absolutely
time.
loved it, yeah.
Cool. So in terms of Brighton and your identity, if you're comfortable,
Yeah.
what elements of your identity did Brighton really bring out, Harriett?
Just being proud to be a gay woman, I think. And I think when I was younger, I didn't necessarily use the word lesbian. I think I used to just say gay. And I feel like the word lesbian had some like connotations to it. I don't really. But then when I was at uni and I met all of these wonderful gay people and all of my friends who have been friends now for over 10 years, I really started to actually warm to using that word. And now I say it loud and proud. And I think Brighton is such an amazing community where it is really safe for the LGBTQ+ community, and I think that really did like shape my like passion to be, I don't know, just talk about these issues, because you go to different parts of the country and it's not like it is in Brighton. So yeah.
Gorgeous. And Katie, for you, from an ally perspective, when did you start to realise, actually, do you know what, I don't know if this is the right question, but I want to be an ally, I need to support. What was it that sort of got you on the...
I think it was my journey as a leader at Sky. So I grew up on like a council estate. Nothing like that was talked about in Newcastle. I didn't know what being gay was. I had no representation in my family or my friend group at all. But when I started Sky, you meet so many different people from all backgrounds, walks of life, and I think it's my role as a leader to create that environment where people feel safe to come into work. So I remember the first time, you know, I had a trans person on my team, and I just really delved into how I could support. And then I met some fantastic friends like yourself, Kev,
Wow.
and our Liam. And just the protective side of us, I think, comes out quite a lot. And that's how I see myself as an ally, is protecting all those people that come through the doors at Sky. So I guess, yeah, just my journey as a leader is how it shaped us as an ally, I think.
Fabulous. Harriet, Katie, thank you so much for sharing that. I can just hear the confidence and the passion already. Jaz, I'll hand over to you for the next question.
Excellent. I'm going to stay with you, Katie, just with what you're saying with regards to being an ally. What does that really mean to you?
So for me, like I say, it's creating an environment where people can be themselves. And if I'm the only place someone can do that, I'll do that. It's using my voice. I've got a lot of privilege as a cis white woman. My voice can really lend itself to being an ally. If I'm in a room and, you know, somebody's debating about gay rights or trans lives, like that's when my voice can come in. So being an ally for me is just using my voice in rooms where people can't speak up for themselves. So I see that as my main goal as an ally.
Brilliant. Thank you so much for that. Excellent. And I think moving on to yourself there, Harriet, you mentioned about the support. You know, you had a lot of support from your friends, your family at school. But were there any moments that really helped shape your confidence and being so open about who you are?
I don't know. I think it's just the journey I've been on. I think it's when I was in Brighton and I had all of my friends were gay, were trans, non-binary, there's bisexual. Like, I think just being in that community and actually probably for the first time actually being able to be myself in a place where it is safe and nobody's judging me and there's no homophobia, there's none of that stuff. I think that really did shape me. I worked in gay bars, I worked in the clubs,
Yes.
worked with drag queens in the clubs. I worked it was the biggest gay club in Brighton. I don't know, Kevin, have you ever been?
I've never been to Brighton, but something's telling me I need to get myself there.
That is a
Mariah
crime.
Carey's there this year, so now's your chance.
She is there. But I think just working with and being around so many people who weren't afraid to be themselves, and it was just for me really rewarding to be around, and I think that really did shape me. And I do wonder if I didn't go to uni in Brighton, would I be as proud as I am now? And I don't know if I would, if I'm honest. So
Yeah, it just felt right.
yeah.
Fabulous.
Thanks, Harriet.
Cool.
Kev, over to you.
Thanks, Jaz. Next question. So bringing it back to work, and Katie, you've actually started on this point already. So I'll come to you for this, Katie. So, has your experience at work impacted how, I suppose, you express your identity as an ally, if that makes sense?
Yeah, absolutely. I think at work, someone I'm really close to faced some homophobia. And I just knew it was up to me to fix it. You know, I was looking around and nobody else was going to fix that. I had to just do that myself.
Yeah.
And as hard as it was the right thing to do to protect that person from the bullying that they were going through. So I think it gives us like a confidence within myself that I know what the right thing to do is. I'm confident enough to be able to go and do that.
Yeah.
And help people that can't in that situation. They couldn't have helped themselves whatsoever. It was up to me to fix that. So yeah, I guess I get a lot of confidence from my current role to be able to do the right thing as an ally.
Fab. Amazing. I mean, I take my hat off to everything you do, Katie. So Harriet, exactly the same question to you.
So when I first started at Sky, I was a similar role to Katie, where I was in the operations as a customer experience leader. And I feel like in that role, you meet people from all walks of life. And I really took it upon myself whilst I was in that role to just educate people, you know. And I always created a safe space of if people wanted to learn about LGBTQ like culture and ask questions, I would always say, like, no question is wrong. Don't worry about the language that you use. Like, nothing will offend me. Let's just have a really open and honest conversation. And I've had conversations with like straight men I had on my team who knew nothing about gay culture or trans lives, and after really deep, meaningful conversations with them, they were like, oh, thank you so much, I just never knew the struggles that people go through, and that's really made me think about how I treat people differently in the future. And I think I really take that stance of being an educator and really wanting people to, if maybe they've got views that are not that great, trying to turn their viewpoint, I think was really important to me.
And I think it's really, on that note, actually, it's really important to have people like yourself that saying, do you know what, yes, it's okay to ask questions, it's okay to make mistakes and say the wrong thing. It's all about intent, isn't it, really?
Absolutely.
And,
you can tell, can't you, when someone's coming from a place of just wanting to learn, or if there is some bad intent behind it. So it's great that, you know, we can create an environment where people can ask those questions. Absolutely.
I think it's asking people as well, like, say, don't just go up to someone who you may know is part of the community and just ask them questions. Ask them first, like, oh, I'm really worried I'm going to offend you, but I really want to have this discussion with you. And I think it's just asking that permission first is really important.
It's interesting. Jaz and I were speaking about this earlier. So I'm Kevin, a gay guy. I was just born gay. And there's always an assumption that, you know, people that need educating are straight people, whereas actually I'm part of the community. And I mean, I learned so much from Katie, you know, because she does so much for the network. So I'm on a journey, and you know, it's important, I suppose, to recognise that, you know, as a gay guy, I can make mistakes and say the wrong things. But again, it's back to that intent, and we're all on a journey, aren't we?
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. Jaz, I think we've already established the next question.
I would say so. So I'm going to come to you, Katie, and what would you say to someone who wants to be an ally but not sure where to start?
I think a little bit of self-reflection is really good, and I spent the morning kind of doing that today. And actually, when I think about my own journey, I spent years just thinking I was an ally because I had gay friends. I thought, like, that just automatically made us an ally. Done. My friends are gay. So I'd spent years, you know, really thinking I was part of that community, but actually it's about the action that you can take. So for me, the best thing you can do is, a lot of people out there probably go to Pride already, but they'll go to the party after. For example, they'll go and see the acts. They might not necessarily walk in the march. So for me, I think that's how I first started taking action as an ally, was showing up to the marches and really taking part and understanding what it means to be in that march. We were talking earlier about how it is a protest still. It's there to remind people that the LGBTQ plus community still need allies, and they still need help, and there's still horrible things happening to people. So yeah, the first thing I would do is to turn up to the Pride marches. And then something I really took last year was volunteering. If you've got any time, just an hour of your time, 2 hours, if you can spend that volunteering with some of the LGBTQ plus charities, it's the best thing that you can do. These charities are screaming out for support and help from anyone that's willing to give it. And actually it was really eye-opening to see some of the struggles that still happen in the LGBTQ plus community, but really rewarding to be able to just help for an hour and feel like I was doing my part. So definitely going to Pride marches and volunteering your time if you can.
And it's not something, if I'm being honest, that I'm aware of, that there are communities that you can go out to do like I love volunteering and giving back, but it's great to hear that there's opportunity to be able to volunteer in that space.
Could be just as simple as, you know, putting on a high vis during Pride and making sure everyone's doing the correct route. There's a lot of, you know, trans Pride this year are going out for volunteers, so I'll definitely ask people to go and consider volunteering there. But yeah, there's loads of opportunities to go and help.
Excellent. Thank you so much for sharing, Katie. Kev.
Thanks, Jaz. Harriett, so obviously we've already mentioned you're a member of the community. Sticking with that, what have you learned from being close to someone in the LGBTQ plus community?
What have I learned? Tons of things.
I know it's a wide question.
Tons of things. I think I've learnt a lot, even just this year. I know that we're only halfway through the year, but I've got friends who are trans, and I know, even though I am part of the community, I am in a real place of privilege. I'm lesbian. I'm not trans. I'm not non-binary.
That's tough to say, eh?
Not non-binary. So for me, I've got some rights, and I feel pretty safe, but I've got friends who don't feel safe right now, and I've definitely really had to look at like my privilege, and like Katie's done, like do some self-reflecting and look at what can I do to support my friends and everybody out there who are really scared at the moment. So I think for me, even though I've been super proud and secure in my identity, I am questioning it a little bit this year on what more can I do and how can I be a better ally. Even though I would say I'm still an ally, even in this community, even though I'm part of it, I need to be a better ally, and that's what I've learned.
Fabulous, thank you. Katie, how about yourself?
I would say authenticity. I think if I think about when I'm totally myself, it's when I'm, with me LGBTQ plus network. That is the time when I'm fully myself, because not one person there judges us. Even though they're getting judged by the whole world, that could make people bitter, right? And it could make them, want to judge other people. And that is absolutely not what happens. I feel really comfortable around my friends, and they're happy to answer any questions and help educate us, and it's just a lovely environment to be in. So definitely authenticity, and I would say being able to take that into my day job and really turn up in my day job as myself just changes how everybody sees you and the environment that you're in. So I'd say that's the main thing I get from the LGBTQ plus community.
Cool, thank you.
Good stuff. I think from this point we're going to now move on to really talk a little bit about Pride.
We are.
Pride Month. So, Kev, do you want to kick us off with that?
Absolutely. So, since we're marking Pride Month, let's talk about what it's rewind, Kev. So, since we're talking Pride Month, let's talk about what it's really about. So, we always talk about it's a time of celebration, reflection, but also it's really important to reflect on how far we've come. But equally, there's still so much to do as well. So on that note, Katie or Harriet, I'll let you guys decide. What does Pride really mean for you and the community? You can take that as two separate questions or one.
Yeah. I think if you were to ask me this a few years ago, or maybe when I was in my 20s, I probably would have said a different thing, going to the parties and
Still in your
going
20s,
to the
I'm sure.
festivals. But I think for me, this year, Pride is at the forefront for me, definitely is the protest side of things. And I think going to Pride and Pride Month and going to the events and showing up, I think is really important to show the people out there who kind of don't want us, in a blunt way, don't want us to exist, that we are such a diverse, beautiful, like wonderful community, and we're here, we're always going to be here, we always have been here. And I think I haven't been to an actual Pride festival for a couple of years. I've kind of outgrown it, grown up. But
And that's okay though as well, isn't it?
This year I'm going to Brighton. Yes, Mariah Carey is on. But I felt this year it was really, really important for me to stand with my friends who are really struggling and go to Pride with them and really, really support them and see Mariah Carey. But yeah, for me, this year especially, it's just about coming together as a community and showing like solidarity, I would
Fabulous.
say.
Katie?
I think for me, a little bit similar to Harriet, it's probably changed this year compared to previous years. I feel like the world isn't safe for trans people right now, so I think this year's Pride is for them.
Yeah.
And it's a reminder, to the government and everybody out there that we need to be making sure that the country's safe for all of its people that live there. So I'll be going to Pride and I'll be marching for trans people and their rights and making sure they are safe. So yeah, Pride a little bit different this year, less about the party and that we were doing back in the day, and more really about the march itself and what visibility that can bring. So that's what I'll be doing this year.
Yeah, and it does take you back, doesn't it? So a lot of people look at the march and think it's fun, it's vibrant, it's colourful. it's still a protest.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, you know, that's sort of gets forgotten, I suppose,
Yeah.
doesn't it?
Yeah.
Jazz, me being me, I've still one of your questions,
I'm
haven't I?
It's all good. We move. It's all good. We do move. But I'm just thinking, just on that, from what you've mentioned, Katie, with Pride, how can people get involved with Pride in a meaningful and respectful way?
It's really easy. Just turn up. Just
turn up.
come along.
Excellent.
Get all
Katie
your
Hepburn
pals.
blunt as always.
Yeah, just turn
Get your
up.
glitter.
Get your
your
glitter
glitter
on.
on.
Get your colour on. And just turn up and do the march. It's great to go to the parties after, but that march is the most important thing. So just get your friends together and just come along. And it's absolutely brilliant. It's the best thing I've ever been part of. It makes you feel amazing and like you are making a difference, and that there is still that little bit of hope and light that things might turn out different and everyone will feel welcome. So yeah, best thing to do is just come along. Nice and simple.
I have been to Brighton's Pride, which,
have you?
yeah,
Yes.
I have.
Jazz.
I know.
Whole
You're,
city
you're going to
shuts
have to
down.
go.
I'm going to
now.
have to
Put it on
go.
your
I'm gonna
list.
have you been, Katie?
No.
Sorry, Jazz, I'm cutting you off here.
No,
I'm
no,
like,
you're all
Pride,
good, but
Pride.
no, but I think that's great advice, isn't it? Because you're there and you think, oh, this is brilliant. You know, it's very vibrant. But actually being part of the march, that's what's making the difference. So next time I'll make sure I'm not on the sidelines, that I'm part of the march as
Absolutely.
well.
Just showing up.
There's loads of other things like near that. I know in Manchester Pride especially, I'm not too sure if they do it in Brighton. I should know, living there for years. But at the end of Manchester Pride on the Monday night, they do a candlelit vigil, and it's to remember all the lives that we've lost across the years. And that, although I've not been to a Pride festival in a couple of years, I always, every single year go to the candlelight vigil because I think it's just super important. And it's so busy. Loads of people go and we all light our candles, and it is like a really, really special moment. So if you're not someone who likes the busyness, because some people don't like big crowds, they don't like the loud noises, go to the vigil because that's a really, really good way to show up.
Love that.
Very powerful as
Yeah.
well, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Excellent. Kev, anything you would like to add?
I mean, I don't want to steal yet another one of your questions, Jazz, but
Okay.
I suppose, here we are.
Here we are, indeed.
So, next question: are there any moments during Pride events, or the Pride Month or whatever, that really, really stood out for you guys?
Yeah, I'll take that one if that's okay.
Yeah, go for it.
So I want to say not last year, but the year before. This guy that I work with, Dave, I've worked with him for years, and he's always been on the sidelines. He watches it. He goes to the after party, but he's never actually taken part in the march. And I managed to convince him to come, and it poured down with rain. I was devastated, and I was like, "I'm so sorry. Your first parade, and it's poured down with rain." And the pride on his face was just incredible. And he said, I'm probably going to cry because it's emotional. He said, like, he's never felt so safe and part of a community. And he just absolutely loved it. Regardless of the rain, he thought it was the best thing he's ever done. And he felt really confident to be a gay man and be a proud gay man that day. And it just absolutely made me whole life. I'll probably never forget that. So, yeah. Shout out to Dave Skelhorn.
Yes, Dave.
Excellent.
And Harriet.
God, I've got loads, but I think one that really stands out for me in recent years is I remember my mum ringing me, and she was like, "Oh, are you going to be going to Pride this year in Manchester?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm going to go." She was like, because my mum, she volunteers for the Dogs Trust. She was like, "Oh, the Dogs Trust has asked for volunteers to march in the parade, so I thought I'll do it, and you can watch me do it." And for me, for my mum to like come out and go, do you know what? I actually want to be in that parade, and I'm going to ring my daughter and I'm going to tell her I want you to watch me in it. That was an amazing moment for me. And I was there and I was waving my flag for her. She was in a Dogs Trust tutu, but that to her was, she always says that was such a special moment, and she just jumped at the chance to be in a march and celebrate her daughter and all of her daughter's friends. So yeah, that was probably a really special moment for me.
And you can see it as well when you're talking about it, just how it lights you up as well.
Yeah.
Thanks, Harriet.
Cool.
Brilliant.
So I suppose in summary then, when it comes to Pride, and Katie, I mean, you kept it simple. It's about showing up, solidarity really, and just be present. Is that a fair summary, or is there anything that you guys would add to that?
I say just use your voice. Speak up for people that can't speak up for themselves right now, and Pride and the marches are a great way to do that and really show that you're supporting your community, your friends, your family, the people that you work with. Everybody will know someone from the LGBTQ plus community.
Yeah.
So yeah, just showing up. It's the best way.
Cool. Harriet, Katie, thank you both so much for being, I suppose, really honest, really raw, to the point. It's really, really appreciated. And I suppose, Harriet, as well, you know, that 7-year journey you went on in Brighton and being really, really vulnerable and sharing that. It's it's massive and really important to hear those things. So thank you so much. So before we move on to our random question, this feels quick, but before we move on to our random question, we'd love to give you a moment for any final thoughts. So whether it's a message to others in the community, a note to allies, or just general advice, what would you give? Or what would you say?
I would say please write to your local MP and tell them that we don't agree with the Supreme Court ruling around gender identity. Use your voice and help trans people by doing that.
I agree. But just be kind. Just be kind to people, you know, whether whatever their sexuality is, whatever their identity, their race is, just be kind. It's not, I think it's the simplest and easiest thing that you can do. And also be curious, ask questions, learn about people's culture and get to know people.
Fabulous.
Great.
Can't say any more than that, Jess.
Well, I think that's a great point just to wrap up that conversation. Now it's time for my favourite bit, which is talking about tradition. So we have a random question that has been left from our guest on our previous or last month's talking about episode. So they have left, Megan and Georgia, they have left you a wonderful question that we would like for you to answer. Now, Kev, do you have the question there for us?
I have got the question.
Amazing.
Do you want me to read out that question,
Yes,
Jazz?
that would be fabulous.
Memorise
Thanks.
that question. So we'll come to you individually. Who wants the question first?
Go on, Katie.
Yeah,
Go on.
Oh, Katie, okay.
Scared.
So if there was to be any new sport added to the Olympics,
Right.
what would it be, Katie?
Is bottomless brunch an answer?
I'm signing up.
It's
I'm
an option.
there.
Just
I
being
am there.
really good at doing bottomless brunch.
Would you get gold?
Oh, they'd make a new medal. There'd be like a rainbow medal, and that
glitter
would be
medal.
mine. Yeah. How much prosecco you can put away
Okay,
at
I
a
think-
bottomless brunch. So
I think you would, be
I'd
really
win.
good at that.
I'd
Not
be
to
the best.
generalise stuff, but hey, Geordies as well.
yeah.
Harriet, a fellow northerner, what would yours be?
Do you know what? I'm going to keep it. Do it for the gays and not create a necessarily a new sport, but maybe an additional to a sport of full drag marathons.
Oh my
Oh,
goodness.
Heels and everything.
The
Brilliant.
setting spray would have to be ridiculous for that makeup.
Yeah.
But I would say that.
Love that. I would watch that.
I would,
don't like sport, but I would watch that. I would.
Jazz, I know this is not on script, but actually, what would yours be?
You know, I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, how do you top a bottomless brunch and a drag race? Kev, I don't think I can top it. Have you got an idea?
I have actually.
What would
It's
you
sort
be?
of similar to Harriet's, but not. Mine would be, so my favourite event at school was the 200 metres.
Right.
So it would be the 200 metres in quick drag.
Oh no. Bin bags a lot.
Bin bags a lot,
Quick
yeah.
drags,
I'd
always
look
bin
horrendous.
bags.
I'd look horrendous.
Yeah, so would I. But I tell you what, it
Be
would
fun
be
though.
absolute
Yeah,
fun,
it'd
wouldn't
be
it?
great.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And maybe
Yeah.
you need to do shots beforehand.
Hey, combine them both together. Perfect.
Who knows? Guys, before I wrap up, is there any final things that you'd like to share?
No.
No? All good?
Oh
So-
no, I do.
Go on.
You do?
Join the LGBTQ plus network. Sign up, get a newsletter. You'll see all the events that we'll be doing throughout the year and throughout Pride, and it'll have all of the Pride marches that we're doing this year.
Fabulous. And if I'm one of the many people that's watching this back or listening to this, Katie, where would they find this then?
So you would go on the LGBTQ plus website. It's
Okay.
just on the SharePoint, and there's a little sign up option. So you're just dead easy, 2 steps, and you're signed up.
Fabulous. And you're part of the network with some amazing people.
Yes, Kev, you're one of them.
I am. And Harry, how about yourself?
I don't really have any final
That's
thoughts,
fine.
to be fair. No.
That's fine. Cool. So that's a wrap on this episode. Harriet, Katie, thank you both so much for sharing your stories. For those of you that are watching, please feel free to leave your comments and your feedback just below or wherever that may be. Jazz, over to you.
Excellent. Thank you so much. So next month, Nicole is back with a special edition of Talking About. She's got a few guests lined up, and trust us, you won't want to miss this.
Be a good
But
one.
until next time, take care and keep the conversation going.
Bye.
Bye.